Ever had one of those $1 million ideas hit you while lying in bed at night? You know, the kind that makes you think, I'm gonna be rich. Well, let me tell you, having the idea is the easy part. Turning that light bulb moment into a successful business is where things get real. It's like trying to turn a packet of seeds into a towering redwood. Starting a business from scratch is no walk in the park. It takes passion, perseverance, and a willingness to get your hands dirty. But don't worry, I'm here to be your entrepreneurial gardener, guiding you through the process of planting those seeds of ambition and nurturing them into a thriving, money-making Sequoia. From finding your sweet spot to launching like a boss, we'll cover all the bases. So grab your gardening gloves and let's get planting. Who knows, by the end of this, you might just be the one laughing all the way to the bank. Step 1. Unleash your inner hedgehog, finding your business sweet spot. Alright, let's get real for a second. We've all had those late night epiphanies, those $1 million ideas that seem like the next big thing. But let's be brutally honest here, most of them end up being about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Starting a successful business is no cakewalk, and if you want to make it work, you need to find that sweet spot where your passion, skills, and market demand collide. It's like being a hedgehog. You gotta curl up and focus on that one thing you're really good at. Look, we've all been there, stuck in a job we hate, dreaming of something more, but the truth is, taking that leap and starting your own business is a big risk, and it's easy to talk yourself out of it. I don't have enough money, I don't have the right skills, what if it fails? We've all heard those excuses before. But here's the brutal reality. If you don't take that chance, you'll never know what you're truly capable of. Unleashing your inner hedgehog is all about identifying that unique combination of factors that will make your business stand out from the crowd. It's not just about following your passion, that's great, but it won't pay the bills if there's no demand for what you're offering. And it's not just about capitalizing on a hot market trend. If you don't have the skills or genuine interest, you'll burn out faster than a match in a hurricane. The key is to find that perfect intersection where your passion, skills, and market demand meet. It's like a Venn diagram of awesomeness. When you hit that sweet spot, that hedgehog concept, everything clicks into place. Suddenly, you're not just working for a paycheck, you're pursuing your passion, using your talents, and meeting a real need in the market. It's a beautiful thing, and it's what separates the successful businesses from the ones that fizzle out. Sure, it's scary, but that's what makes it exciting. And when you find that sweet spot, that hedgehog concept, it's like everything falls into place. Think about it. Some of the most successful businesses out there started with someone just like you, someone who had a dream and the guts to go for it. Take Spanx, for example. Sarah Blakely was just a regular gal who was sick of her pantyhose rolling up. She saw a problem, used her skills to create a solution, and boom, $1 billion business was born. So don't let fear hold you back. Unleash that inner hedgehog, find your sweet spot, and watch your business take off. It won't be easy, but nothing worth having ever is. Embrace the challenge, stay focused, and remember, you've got this. Because at the end of the day, the only thing standing between you and success is the willingness to take that first step and find your hedgehog concept, that perfect blend of passion, skills, and market demand that will make your business soar. Step 2. Testing the waters with your minimum viable product. Alright, so you found your hedgehog sweet spot, that perfect blend of passion, skills, and market demand that's going to make your business soar. But before you quit your day job and go all in, it's time to dip your toes into the entrepreneurial pool with a little something called a minimum viable product, MVP. Think of it as a sneak peek of your business idea, a way to gauge interest and refine your offering before you dive in head first. Look, we've all had those grand visions of launching the next big thing, only to have them crash and burn because we didn't do our homework. That's where an MVP comes in. It's like going on a first date before you propose marriage. You want to take things slow, get a feel for things, and see if there's a real connection before you commit. Launching an MVP is all about testing the waters and minimizing risk. It's a stripped down version of your product or service, just enough to get people interested and provide valuable feedback. It's a way to validate your idea, identify potential pain points, and make adjustments before you invest too much time and money into something that might not work. But how do you determine what your MVP should be? Well, it's all about identifying the core value proposition, the one thing that solves a real problem for your target audience. Maybe it's a basic version of your app, a pilot program for your coaching services, or a pop-up shop to test out your product line. The key is to keep it simple, focused, and cost-effective. Now, you might be thinking, but what if no one bites? What if my MVP flops? And that's a valid concern. After all, not every business idea is a winner. But here's the brutal truth. Launching an MVP is all about minimizing risk and learning from your mistakes. Would you rather invest thousands of dollars and countless hours into a product or service that no one wants? Or would you rather test the waters first and make adjustments based on real feedback? And let's not forget the success stories. Businesses that started with a simple MVP and grew into industry giants. Take Dropbox, for example. Their MVP was a simple video demo that showed how their file sharing service worked. They shared it on tech forums, and the overwhelming positive response helped them secure funding and grow into the billion-dollar company they are today. Or what about Uber? Their MVP was a simple website that connected riders with drivers in San Francisco. It was a bare-bones operation, but it allowed them to test the concept, gather data, and refine their offering before expanding into the global ride-sharing behemoth we know today. The point is, an MVP is a low-risk, high-reward way to validate your business idea and gather invaluable insights. Sure, it might not be perfect, but that's kind of the point. It's a stepping stone, a way to learn and iterate before you go all in. It's like dipping your toes in the water before you cannonball into the deep end. And let's be real, starting a business is a huge risk, no matter how you slice it. But by launching an MVP, you're minimizing that risk and giving yourself the best possible chance of success. You're gathering real data, real feedback, and real insights that will help you refine your offering and make it something that people actually want. So, don't be afraid to start small. That's where the magic happens. Test the waters, learn from your mistakes, and use that knowledge to build something truly amazing. Because at the end of the day, the only thing standing between you and success is the willingness to take that first step and launch your MVP. Step 3, niche and nurture, cultivating your audience and market fit. Alright folks, you've taken the plunge and launched your minimum viable product, MVP. That stripped down version of your business idea that's like a sneak peek into the main event. But now comes the real challenge, finding your niche and nurturing your audience like a precious little seedling. Look, we've all had those grand visions of launching a product or service that appeals to everyone, but let's be brutally honest here. That's about as effective as trying to be a one-legged butt-kicking champion. The truth is, the power of niche is real, and it's what separates the successful businesses from the ones that flounder. Cultivating your audience and market fit is all about understanding your target market on a deep, almost spiritual level. It's not enough to just know their basic demographics. You need to know their hopes, their dreams, their deepest desires. Well, maybe not their deepest desires, but you get the idea. This is where the phrase, know your onions, comes into play. Just like an onion has layers, your target audience has layers of needs, preferences, and pain points that you need to peel back and understand. Only then can you tailor your offerings to truly resonate with them. But it's not just about understanding your audience, it's about nurturing those relationships and building trust. Think of it as making friends with benefits, but not like that, you perv. You want to provide value, engage with your audience, and show them that you're not just in it for the money. You genuinely care about their needs and want to help them succeed. Now, you might be thinking, but why bother with all this niche nonsense? Can't I just sell to everyone? And sure, you could try that approach, but you'd be about as effective as a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest. The truth is, the power of niche is real, and it's what separates the successful businesses from the ones that flounder. Think about it. Would you rather be a big fish in a small pond or a tiny guppy in the vast ocean? Take a look at some of the most successful businesses out there. Lululemon didn't try to be all things to all people. They focused on creating high-quality athletic wear for yoga enthusiasts and built a cult-like following in the process. Or what about Glossier? They didn't just sell makeup. They tapped into the needs of millennial women who wanted simple, natural-looking beauty products and built a brand around that. By understanding and catering to a specific niche, these businesses were able to create products and experiences that truly resonated with their target audience. They built communities, fostered loyalty, and ultimately achieved massive success. So, don't be afraid to get niche-y. Dive deep into your target market, understand their needs, and tailor your offerings accordingly. Nurture those relationships, provide value, and watch as your audience becomes your biggest advocates and evangelists. Because at the end of the day, success in business isn't just about having a great product or service. It's about understanding your audience, cultivating those relationships, and creating something that truly resonates with them. And let's be real, starting a business is a huge risk, no matter how you slice it. But by finding your niche and nurturing your audience, you're giving yourself the best possible chance of success. You're building a loyal following, creating products and services that people actually want, and setting yourself up for long-term growth and profitability. So, get to know your onions, make some friends with benefits, and embrace the power of niche. Your business and your bank account will thank you, because at the end of the day, the only thing standing between you and success is the willingness to truly understand and cater to your target audience. Step 4. Launch like a boss, taking the plunge into entrepreneurship. Alright, my entrepreneurial friends, it's time to put on your big kid pants and launch this bad boy like a boss. You found your hedgehog sweet spot, tested the waters with your MVP, and cultivated your niche audience like a precious little seedling. But now comes the moment of truth. It's time to take the plunge into entrepreneurship and launch your product or service into the wild, wild world of business. Look, we've all had those grand visions of launching the next big thing, only to have them crash and burn because we didn't do our homework. That's why launching your business is all about striking the perfect balance between logic and emotion. On one hand, you need to have a solid strategic plan in place, a well thought out marketing strategy, a clear understanding of your target market, and a realistic financial plan. This is the logical, analytical side of things, the side that ensures you're not just winging it and hoping for the best. But on the other hand, you can't forget the emotional side of things. Starting a business is a deeply personal journey, and you need to infuse your launch with passion, enthusiasm, and a genuine belief in what you're offering. This is what will help you connect with your audience on a deeper level, inspire them to take action, and ultimately make your business stand out from the crowd. It's like a perfectly choreographed dance. You need to seamlessly blend the logical, strategic elements with the emotional, passionate ones. Your marketing materials should be well designed and on brand, but they should also evoke a sense of excitement and desire. Your sales pitch should be backed by solid data and research, but it should also tap into the emotional needs and pain points of your target audience. Now you might be thinking, but what if I fail? What if my launch falls flat on its face? And let's be brutally honest here, that's a valid concern. Starting a business is a huge risk, and there's no guarantee of success. But here's the thing, failure is not the end of the world. In fact, it's often the catalyst for even greater success. Think about some of the most successful entrepreneurs out there. Do you really think they nailed it on their first try? Heck no. Take Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She was rejected by countless manufacturers and investors before she finally found someone who believed in her vision. Or what about Steve Jobs? He was famously ousted from Apple, the company he co-founded, before making a triumphant return and turning it into the tech giant it is today. The point is, failure is part of the journey. It's what teaches you valuable lessons, helps you refine your offerings, and ultimately makes you stronger and more resilient. So don't be afraid to take that leap and launch your business with everything you got. Sure, there might be some bumps in the road, but that's all part of the adventure. And remember, you've got this. You've done the hard work, you found your niche, cultivated your audience, and created something truly special. Now it's time to share it with the world and watch it soar. So, take a deep breath, channel that perfect blend of logic and emotion, and launch like a boss. The world is waiting for your brilliance, and it's time to make your mark. Because at the end of the day, the only thing standing between you and success is the willingness to take that final leap and launch your business with everything you've got. It's a risk, sure, but it's a risk worth taking, so embrace the journey, learn from your failures, and never stop believing in yourself and your vision. That's what it takes to truly launch like a boss. And lastly, step 5. From seed to Sequoia, growing your business to new heights. Alright, my fellow entrepreneurial warriors, we've made it to the final boss level of starting your first business. You found your Hedgehog sweet spot, tested the waters with your MVP, cultivated your niche audience, and launched your product or service like a boss. But now comes the real challenge. Taking that little seedling of a business and nurturing it into a towering Sequoia, a force to be reckoned with in your industry. Look, we've all had those grand visions of building the next big thing, only to have our dreams crushed by the harsh realities of the business world. That's why growing and scaling your business is all about striking the perfect balance between strategic planning and adaptability. On one hand, you need to have a clear vision and roadmap for growth, a well thought out plan for expanding your reach, increasing your offerings, and building a sustainable, scalable business model. But on the other hand, you can't be so rigid in your approach that you miss out on new opportunities or fail to adapt to changing market conditions. The business world is constantly evolving, and you need to be agile, nimble, and willing to pivot when necessary. It's like a delicate dance. You need to have a solid foundation and structure in place, but you also need to be light on your feet, ready to adjust your moves as the music changes. Now, you might be thinking, but what if I can't keep up? What if my business stagnates or gets left behind? And let's be brutally honest here. That's a valid concern. Growing a business is no easy feat, and there will inevitably be challenges and setbacks along the way. But here's the thing. Those challenges are what separate the true entrepreneurs from the wannabes. It's easy to start a business when everything is shiny and new, but it takes real grit and determination to weather the storms and keep pushing forward. Think about some of the most successful businesses out there. Do you really think they got to where they are today without facing any obstacles? Heck no. Take Amazon, for example. In the early days, Jeff Bezos was laughed at for his crazy idea of selling books online, but he persevered, adapted, and expanded his offerings, and now Amazon is a global behemoth that dominates virtually every industry it touches. Or what about Airbnb? The founders were literally broke and living on cereal when they first launched their business. But they didn't give up. They pivoted, they innovated, and they built a platform that has disrupted the entire hospitality industry. The point is, growing a business is never a straight line. There will be ups and downs, twists and turns, and moments where you feel like throwing in the towel. But it's those moments that truly test your mettle as an entrepreneur. And it's those who have the courage and resilience to push through that ultimately succeed. So don't be afraid to dream big and set your sights on becoming a towering Sequoia in your industry. Sure, it won't be easy, but nothing worth having ever is. Embrace the challenges, learn from your mistakes, and never stop adapting and evolving. Because at the end of the day, that's what separates the true entrepreneurs from the rest. The willingness to nurture and grow their business, no matter what obstacles stand in their way. And remember, you've already come so far. You found your passion, validated your idea, cultivated your audience, and launched your product or service into the world. Now it's time to take that momentum and run with it, to keep pushing forward and never lose sight of your ultimate goal. It won't be easy, but then again, nothing truly worthwhile ever is. There will be setbacks, there will be moments of doubt, and there will be times when you feel like giving up. But that's when you need to dig deep. Tap into that entrepreneurial spirit that got you this far and keep pushing forward. Because at the end of the day, the only thing standing between you and success is the willingness to nurture and grow your business, to adapt and evolve, and to never ever give up on your dreams. So, embrace the journey, learn from your mistakes, and watch as that little seedling grows into a towering Sequoia that casts a shadow over your entire industry. Alright, my fellow entrepreneurial warriors, we've covered a lot of ground today. From finding your Hedgehog sweet spot to launching like a boss and growing your business into a towering Sequoia. But before we wrap things up, let me leave you with one final thought. Starting a business is a lot like having a baby. No, seriously, hear me out. First, there's the conception phase. That magical moment when your brilliant idea is born. It's exciting, it's terrifying, and you have no idea what you're in for. Then comes the pregnancy, the long, grueling months of planning, preparing, and nurturing your idea into something tangible. There are mood swings, cravings, and moments where you question your sanity, but finally, after all that hard work, it's time for the big day, the launch. It's painful, it's messy, and you're pretty sure you're going to pass out. But in the end, you're left with this beautiful, amazing thing that you created from scratch. And then, of course, comes the real challenge, raising your business baby. There are sleepless nights, tantrums, and moments where you wonder if you're doing everything wrong. But there are also those precious milestones, the first sale, the first employee, the first million in revenue that make it all worth it. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed, just remember, you've got this. You're a parent now. And that means you're tougher, more resilient, and more capable than you ever thought possible. Just keep nurturing that business baby, and before you know it, it'll be all grown up, a towering sequoia that's changing the world, one branch at a time. So, what are you waiting for? It's time to embrace the chaos, the challenges, and the incredible journey that is entrepreneurship. Strap in, hold on tight, and get ready for the ride of your life.